And hopefully we are now live according to YouTube. We are. So welcome to the Wednesday live stream that I do. Let's talk about it while we discuss everything IT and cybersecurity related. So I'm going to dive straight into it. On the 29th of April, in fact, let me pull this over. That one. Okay. So this is from the National Cybersecurity Centre, a part of GCHQ. New security law for smart devices. So from the 29th of April 2024, manufacturers of consumer smart devices, like the one you've just bought, must comply with the new UK law. The law will help consumers to choose smart devices that provide ongoing protection against cyber attacks. So this card explains why the new law is required and how it affects you as a consumer. So this is a consumer law aimed at consumer devices that you connect to your network at home. So there is a 34-page document on this, and I've gone through and I've tried to break it down as much as I can, rather than having to go through a full 34-page document. So what products are affected by the new law? Consumer smart devices that connect to the internet or your home network. And this may include smart speakers, smart TVs and streaming devices, smart doorbells, baby monitors and security cameras. So the security cameras, it's great that it refers to these because many CCTV installers just install security cameras, forward ports, and leave them with the default credentials, which can be used to pivot from the devices, or at the very least, allow other people to see what is going on in your house. So you've got cellular tablets, smartphones, game consoles, wearable fitness trackers, including smartwatches, smart domestic appliances such as light bulbs, kettles, thermostats, fridges, and washing machines. Why you'd want to connect a washing machine to the internet, I have no idea. So what will the new law mean for you as a consumer? Manufacturers must ensure that all smart devices meet basic cybersecurity requirements. Specifically, they must not supply devices that use default passwords that can easily be discovered online. So admin and admin, which is a popular one, or admin and 1234 like Zyxel uses. So if the default password is used, the criminal could log into a smart device and use it to access the local network or conduct cyber attacks. They must provide a point of contact for reporting of security issues, which, if ignored, could make devices exploitable by cyber criminals. They must state the minimum length of time which the device will receive important security updates. When updates are no longer provided, devices are easy to hack or may stop working as designed. So the new law takes effect on the 29th of April 2024. So a couple of days ago this came into effect. There's lots you can do to make sure that your smart devices are working securely. And there's a link here, ncsc.gov.uk/smart. And then some devices may not be secure when first switched on, so you should check the following. You'll need to create a password during the setup. If the device or application comes with a default password, change it. Criminals know all the obvious passwords like 1234, so make sure you create a secure one. For example, by combining 3 random words, which is a popular way of generating passwords. If the app or device offers 2-step verification, turn it on. So 2SV, or multi-factor authentication, makes it hard for criminals to access your devices even if they know the password. Install the latest software and updates. So obviously applying updates promptly will protect your device from criminals, adds new features and keep it working as it should. If you receive a prompt to update your device or app, don't ignore it. Turn on automatic update option if available. And again, it provides this link to ncsc.gov.uk/smart. So this is a new law that was passed. ETSI EN 303 645, and this is at version 2.1.1. So this has been going for a while. It's not something, I mean, I know it became law pretty quickly, and most of the news sites are covering this. But you can see 2020-06. So this has been in development since June of 2020. And it's a cybersecurity for consumer Internet of Things baseline requirements. We've got McCarthy. Good evening to yourself. Thank you for joining us again. Just going over some of these new UK laws that have been passed. I mean, this is definitely not before time and long overdue, to be fairness. So, let's say this document is 34 pages. It's a long document. So, I've tried to go through it and pull out the meat of it. So, date of adoption, 19th of June 2020. So, as I say, this is like 4 years in the planning, and it's now law. So to sell devices in the UK, new devices, you pretty much can't sell them with default passwords of like admin and admin, or admin and 1234 or whatever. So yeah, default passwords minimum. It's great that this came in, and it covers quite a bit, in all fairness, not just default passwords. As I say, I've tried to rip this apart. How can I do this? I did it on PowerPoint, and I'm not a PowerPoint guy, so let's see how this works. Alright, let's try this from the beginning. Okay. I think we've got us working. So, ETSI EN303645, cybersecurity for consumer Internet of Things, IoT devices. So, it covers the importance of cybersecurity in IoT. So, as more devices connect to the internet, from your smartwatches to your home security systems, the risk of cyber threats increases. It's vital to understand and implement robust security measures to protect digital and personal lives. Overview of ETSI EN303645. So it outlines foundational security and data protection measures for IoT manufacturers. It addresses everything from password security to the resilience of devices. So while default passwords is a big part that people are reporting on, there is a lot more in this. So the first point, no default passwords. So devices must either come with a unique password, so a unique password per device, as many routers do, or prompt users to create their own during setup. It's a simple step that can protect against many automated attacks. So default passwords is definitely a big one, and it's great that the UK have brought this in, because we're kind of the last to set any kind of standards, but this will affect people obviously outside the UK as well, because people are going to have to secure the devices or they won't be able to sell them here. So, vulnerability management. So, the standard requires a system for managing vulnerabilities, including public disclosure policies. This openness helps the community to respond quickly to potential threats. So, they need to set up vulnerability management practices. Regular updates. So, regular software updates are essential. Devices should not only be updatable, these updates must be easy for users to apply, ensuring ongoing protection against vulnerabilities. So you can see it covers software updates, default passwords, secure storage and communication. So sensitive information must be securely stored and encrypted. This includes both on-device data and data transmitted between devices and external services. So many IoT devices that I've seen myself transmit just using HTTP, so they don't even encrypt data. They literally just don't even send it over HTTPS. It's unencrypted. So this is to make sure that when they're transmitting any data, that it is encrypted. And and it's encrypted at rest as well. So when it's stored on your device, it must also be encrypted. So this is like, I know it's kind of basic stuff, but a lot of people are not IT savvy and maybe unaware of this stuff. So minimizing risks. To minimize risks, the standard advises limiting the device's attack surface by disabling unnecessary interfaces and ensuring software operates with minimal privileges necessary for functionality. So these are like, this is kind of groundbreaking in the effect that it's not recommendations, it's now law. And if you're selling devices, then you need to adhere to these rules. The fines are, I think it was 10 million. So actually, it's one thing that I left out of this slide. So it's a £10 million fine. So it's definitely not a recommendation. You need to follow this, or you face £10 million fine, or 4% of profits, whichever is the most amount. So ensuring device resilience. So devices must also be resilient. They should function during power or network outages and recover quickly once these services are restored, ensuring reliability and user safety. So if there's a power outage, your devices need to be able to recover from it properly. And implementation and compliance, which is like the last bit, I think. So implementing these guidelines can be a challenge, but compliance ensures a device is trustworthy and secure. Manufacturers are encouraged to follow these standards closely and seek certification where applicable. So again, just going over the summary of that. We've got no default passwords. Vulnerability management must be in place. Devices must do regular updates. Secure storage and communication, so anything saved or transmitted must be encrypted. Minimize risks and ensure device resilience, and then implementation and compliance. So there are like some devices that you can't do this on, like maybe window sensors and things like that, because they just don't have the capacity. The devices are not powerful enough, or there's not enough storage to do this, so they become in a separate category. But most of the things on here are mandatory. So it's really great to see this. It is definitely a step in the right direction, and it will definitely affect devices coming from into the UK. So it will also affect them in other parts of the world, because they'll have to make them compliant here. And again, this is for consumer devices, but I'm guessing at some stage it will start flowing up to enterprise devices as well. Hey, my PowerPoint with the default slides. So where's the missing a part of OBS that I can't see? Studio mode, there we go. So let me transition me back in. So that's a basic overview of, how can I get this off now? And show. So that's a basic overview. As I say, it is a 34-page document, and it's very, very a heavy read. So I'll leave the links to that. In fact, Steve Gibson covered this on Security Now, and you can, if you want to grab the document for yourself, you can get it from grc.sc/ETSI. So that's a link if you want to grab this document and rip it apart yourself and see what it entails completely. But I have tried to break it down. So let me get that off. Right, so on to the usual things you should be aware of in the world of cybersecurity. So let me pull this up. Oops, wrong one. So, me with monitor, get back over there. So, new cuttlefish malware infects routers to monitor traffic for credentials. This is again about exposing devices and exactly what that UK law is trying to cover. Max says this was a long time coming for IoT. It definitely was. Just people like manufacturers sell things and they just don't care about security in many cases. And get this is a prime example. This new cuttlefish malware. So a new malware named Cuttlefish has been spotted infecting enterprise-grade and small home office routers to monitor data that passes through them and steal authentication information. So these are the method for the initial infection has yet to be determined, but it could involve exploiting known vulnerabilities or brute forcing passwords. The advice from the previous document that we discussed, 3 random words is a great way. But once access is gained to the router, a bash script, s.sh, is deployed and begins collecting host data, including details on directory listings, running processes, and active connections. And obviously you can, so it kind of creates a botnet, and from there, in fact, shows exactly how we do it. So you can check for the existence of this s.sh. But this goes fully into it, and you can read this article for yourself on Bleeping Computer. So that was the first thing that I wanted to bring up because it was related. It doesn't actually give a list of the types of routers on there. Let me get rid of that one. But I mean, this new law that's passed in the UK will definitely help with so many issues and people getting infected. King, I appreciate your OpenSense tutorials. Been using them. Thank you for that. Really appreciate the feedback on those. OpenSense is like a great product, and the new WireGuard features of the page generator is just so handy. There are websites available if you're not using OpenSense for them, but putting details into other people's websites is generally not a good idea. What else have we got on here? So supply chain attacks are a thing. Millions of Docker repositories found pushing malware and phishing sites. So there's 3 large-scale campaigns targeted Docker Hubs users, planting millions of repositories that push malware and phishing sites since 2021. Yeah, so these are like gone unnoticed for a while. Security researchers found around 20% of the 15 million repositories hosted by Docker Hub contain malicious content ranging from spam to dangerous malware on phishing sites. So, on the campaign website SEO, download ebook phishing and other suspicious image list. So, Docker's a great product, but you really have to trust where you're downloading the images from and what it's built with. I prefer to just install software directly in a virtual machine as opposed to using Docker and build it myself. If possible, just you need to trust the images. But yeah, that's going back 3 years. Millions of Docker repositories have been pushing malware and it's gone unnoticed. Just bear with me, I'm going through these. Hacked WordPress sites. Every week I mention hacked WordPress websites. This new WP per Android malware hides behind hacked WordPress websites. So there's a new Android backdoor named WP, and it's been spotted in at least 2 unofficial app stores mimicking the up-to-down app store, which is popular. I've not actually heard of this. Has anybody else heard of that? Popular third-party app store for Android devices with over 220 million downloads. Wow, So Weeper stands out for its novel use of compromised WordPress sites to act as relays for its actual command and control servers. Nope, never heard of F-Drive, but have heard of F-Drive, but not this one. So yes, now F-Drive's a bit different because I believe you've got to provide the source code to upload apps, and F-Drive compile it for you so that they can check. So compromised WordPress websites are a thing, and people just have websites done and then fail to have them maintained. They fail to update plugins, and I mention it literally every single week. So supported commands in the backdoor malware retrieve detailed information about the infected device, so hardware specifications, operating system details, gather lists of all installed applications. You just need to make it really careful where you're downloading apps from. I say I'm not familiar with this app store. So since the operators of WP and the campaign's motives are unknown, it's not clear how the stolen data is used, but potential risks include account hijacking, network infiltration, intelligence collection, identity theft, and financial fraud. And to avoid risks, it's recommended that you only install applications from Android's official store, Google Play. And ensure that the operating system's built-in anti-malware tool, Play Protect, is active on your device. With that, so yeah, just use official stores. I mean, I've used F-Droid myself to grab things like Termux and things like that, which is like a Linux emulator that runs on your PC. So meh, adverts, stupid thing. So in relation to that previous article, Google prevented 2.28 million malicious apps from reaching the Play Store in 2023. Nearly 2.5 million malicious apps. That's unbelievable. So on Monday, Google revealed that almost 200,000 app submissions to its Play Store for Android were either rejected or remediated to address issues with access to sensitive data such as location or SMS messages over the past year. And they blocked 333,000 bad accounts from the App Storefront in 2023. So using Google's official store is definitely recommended, and Google obviously do vet. I mean, apps do get into the Play Store, but Google are monitoring it. What's on next? So in 2023, over 1,000 vulnerabilities were detected in Microsoft products. And these range through various products. So 1,200 plus flaws detected in Microsoft products. And these all range from like remote code execution, elevation of privileges, and these are in Windows, Office products, 1,200 plus vulnerabilities. So it's important to keep Windows patched, Office patched. Any software that you use should be patched, obviously. What do we got next? Again, with WordPress, Hackers actively exploiting the WP automatic updates plugin. So obviously this is a plugin that tries to keep WordPress up to date. Cybersecurity researchers at WP Scan recently discovered that hackers have been actively exploiting the WP automatic updates plugin, tracked as CVE 2024-27956. And it's got a CVSS of 9.8, so that's pretty high, and obviously because it's SQL injection. There is a patch available, so if you are using this WP, what's it called, WP automatic updates plugin, make sure it is patched and on the latest version. Otherwise, you're leaving yourself open to SQL injection and people taking over. WordPress. It's great if it's kept up to date, but it's often not. I'm trying to run through these as quickly as I can because I have somewhere I need to be. It's the wife on the phone about my tea. QNAP vulnerability. So QNAP again. Multiple QNAP vulnerability. CV 2024-21899, 21900, 21901, 27124, 32764, and 32766. If you're running a NAS, it shouldn't be exposed to the internet. So the CV details. Improper authentication vulnerability. So allow unauthorized users to compromise the system security via a network. So you can bypass authentication. Command injection, SQL injection, OS command injection, missing authentication for critical function, OS command injection. Yeah, if you're running QNAP devices, just do not expose them to the internet under any circumstances. It's not the first time that QNAP have been in the news. But with that, Cisco also made the news. So hackers exploit Cisco firewall, 0 days to hack government networks. So these are Cisco ASA firewalls. The campaigns targeted government networks globally by exploiting multiple 0-day vulnerabilities in Cisco ASA firewalls. So 2 custom malware implants Line Dancer and Line Runner to gain persistent access and remote control over compromised ASA devices. So the Cisco one, really crazy. Richard, good evening. So yeah, saw the Cisco one, really crazy. Yeah, Cisco uncovered a sophisticated attack chain that was used to implant custom malware and execute commands across a small set of customers. So while Cisco research have been unable to identify the initial attack vector, they have identified the 2 vulnerabilities that were used. I believe these obviously have been patched. So what website are we on here? GB Hackers on Security. There's a list of likely controlled infrastructure, multi-tenant infrastructure, so there's a list of IP addresses. So yeah, Cisco has released updates for the 0 vulnerabilities, and more details can be found here on it. Does it have the version numbers? So we've got this 2 CVEs, and it goes into showing the exact details. So Cisco has released updates, and there are no workarounds available. So update. If devices have already been compromised, God, factory reset them, replace them. But I don't know. It's always a bad thing. But yeah, so it's not just obviously QNAP that are in the news about security issues, but that is multiple CVEs. I have an old Cisco ISR 111 in my lab. I don't even connect that thing to the internet. I'm very wise. Many of the Cisco products once ago, obviously end of life, and they've passed securing. There's no obviously fixes for them. Zyxel made it in the news. Threat actors claiming a 0-day vulnerability in Zyxel VPN device. So the revelation was made public through a tweet by cybersecurity monitoring group Vultr, which has been closely tracking and reporting. But so, threat actor has announced the sale of 0-day exploit on a Zyxel legacy VPN device that the manufacturer no longer supports. This device has over 2,500 IPs listed. Many of the older Zyxel things, I mean, some of them had like built-in username and passwords and backdoors and things. Zyxel's another company that's had some shady practices, to say the least, with regards to what they've been doing and what they've been putting in the firewalls. Putting backdoors in routers is absolutely ridiculous. I did some work on a 6509 earlier this year, fortunately air gapped. So, yeah, I mean, Zyxel's another one that routers go out with default passwords. I think it's admin and 1234 on Zyxel's. But I'd say they've purposely added backdoors and I think it was FTP details and things like that. I mean, you should never expose any of the management interfaces on your router to the internet anyway. There's absolutely no need to. Use a VPN. If you use GitLab, I don't know if this manages the version number actually. Let me have a look. So I do use GitLab, but it's not connected to the internet. It's like GitHub, but you can self-host it. So GitLab high severity flaw lets attackers take over account. Update now. So Cisco ACI is very cool. Zero Trust SDN. Yeah, with a high price tag as well. So GitLab has released security patches 16.11.1 and 16.10.4 and 16.9.6 for both the community edition and the enterprise version. So update GitLab if you're running GitLab. The two vulnerabilities, so denial of service and unauthorized access to restricted files, so file path traversal. So this basically affects all versions of GitLab before 16.9.6, 16.10.4 and 16.11.1. So if you're running any of these versions or below, you need to patch GitLab like now. Let me tell you a little secret that's not so secret. Network manufacturers in the US are required by law to allow port mirroring of traffic on their devices to 3-letter agencies. I wasn't aware of that. Wow. I didn't realize it was like required by law, but this is a problem. And EU are trying to like put an end-to-end encrypted messaging and things so that they can check people's messages and search for images. The next thing's going to be like AI-enabled phones being able to scan what images are on your phone and report that back. And obviously AI doesn't work properly anyway. UK too. Absolutely. They want to ban encryption, but they can't. So the next thing will be client-side scanning. So yeah, your phone will be scanning through all the information that's obviously unencrypted on your phone and reporting that back. That's definitely going to be a thing. So a proof of concept has been released for critical vulnerability Flowmon. CV 2024-2189, and it was given 10. That's as bad as it gets, and you don't see many of those. Yeah, that's as bad as it gets. 10. They've really brought this down as well. So command injection. In order to exploit this vulnerability, threat actors can manipulate the plugin path for file parameters to embed malicious commands. Wow. So proof of concept is already released for this. And it's recommended that Progress Flowmon use upgrade to the latest version to prevent exploitation. So again, if you're running Flowmon, update to the latest version. This is why I like to go through and do these, because manufacturers don't always make it obvious when updates are available, and this is kind of one of the reasons I go through this. Oops, wrong button. I've done that one. That's the Android malware one. So again, down to installing apps on phones with this one, and you need to be careful. New Android malware Mimic as social media apps steal sensitive data. So icon used by Android malware. So it's a remote access malware discovered being targeted Android devices. So phishing attacks by disguising itself as legitimate applications such as Snapchat, Instagram, WhatsApp, Twitter, and Google to harvest credentials from the victim. So Sonic Wall have investigated this. Is there a... Yeah, so we've got indicators of compromise. Again, be careful when you're downloading apps. Some of them are obviously easy to fall for if you're not paying attention. You're a bit tired and you're not looking what you're doing when you're installing things on your phone. What else we got here? This is kind of cool. This is awesome. Transition this across. So researchers sinkhole PlugX malware serves with 2.5 million unique IPs. This is just great the way that they did this. So they managed to do this by... Where's the actual details of it? So PlugX malware server. Where's the details? Where's the details? There it is. Researchers at cybersecurity company Sakaya, assuming you say that, spent $7 to acquire the IP address, which is there, corresponding to a command and control C2 server for a variant of malware. So they just bought the IP and sinkholed it. That's really good. So the sinkhole operation revealed that between 90,000 and 100,000 systems were sending requests daily Over 6 months, more than 2.5 million unique IPs connected to the server from all over the world. Wow. It's amazing that they did that and they purchased the IP and just sinkholed it. That's awesome. People should do things like that more often if it's that easy to do. I'm just getting down to the last few of these. If you're running Mac and you think that you won't get infected by malware or there's no malware stealing, you're wrong. Malware cuckoo, so previously unknown info stealer spyware steals data from macOS. First spotted on April the 24th, so it's only recently been spotted. Binary file dump media Spotify music converter. Yeah, so again, downloading, so screenshots, webcam shots, keychain data, so passwords, browsing history, messaging apps, cryptocurrency, wallet details, SSH keys. Again, don't use pirated software. Just don't download files from unknown sources. Does it say? I'm just having a quick, yeah. So it's got domains, IPs. So imagine that most EDI software and things will now detect that. Postman. If you're not familiar with Postman, it's a very popular tool for testing APIs and credential exposure. So a recent discovery, major vulnerability in Postman. The flaw exposed over 4,000 active credentials. So this vulnerability has positioned Postman as one of the largest public sources of leaked secrets, affecting many software as a service and cloud providers. So the investigation revealed that secrets from 183 different software as a service and cloud providers, including giants like AWS, GCP, OpenAPI, GitHub, and Postman itself, are leaked on the platform. Wow, that's a lot of data. So developers and companies using Postman are urged to review their workspace settings and ensure that no sensitive information is made public. So Truffle Security Company has also provided a tool, TruffleHog's Postman Secret Scanner, for users to scan the Postman workspaces for exposed secrets. So that'll help if you use Postman. It is a very popular tool. What are we on next? So I've only got one more. I didn't actually look into this, so let's do that now. CV 2024-26925, Linux kernel vulnerability. Let hackers access unauthorized data. So the flaws found in net filter subsystems, so NF tables, which is packet filtering. The vulnerability stemmed from improperly releasing a mutex within the garbage collection. The issue was rectified by modifying the mutex release sequence. So the vulnerability affects many systems, mainly utilizing NF tables for network packet filtering. Mitigation recommendations. Update to the latest Linux kernel version. The world of IT is just amazing, isn't it? Right. Let me get rid of that. These are not really cybersecurity related. Can I get that? Where is it? Come here. So on Sunday, word began to spread on social media about a new mystery chatbot named GPT2 chatbot. That appeared on the LM6 chatbot arena. So some people speculate that it may be a secret test version of OpenAI's upcoming GPT 4.5 or GPT-5 large language models. So the paid version of ChatGPT is currently powered by GPT-4 Turbo. Currently, the new model is only available for use through Chatbot Arena website, although in a limited way. It has a rate limit of 8 queries a day. So this is obviously for testing. OpenAI's CEO Sam Altman seemingly dropped a hint by tweeting, "I do have a soft spot for GPT-2." So there's something new possibly on the horizon. So we can keep an eye out for that, but I'm guessing the next version of ChatGPT is on its way. And with that, I'm going to disappear after this one. Say I need to... My phone keeps ringing and someone's trying to get hold of me. Talking of chatbots. So NVIDIA's AI chatbot now supports Google's Gemma model, voice queries, and more. So ChatRTX runs locally on your PC. And obviously it's from NVIDIA, so it specifically utilizes the power of RTX GPU. So it runs locally on Windows. You can install Mistral or Llama 2 to query personal documents that you feed into it. So NVIDIA first introduced ChatRTX as Chat with RTX in February as a demo app. But you'll need an RTX 30 or 40 series GPU with 8 gig of RAM to run it. Let me see here. I'm just looking at that URL, but it's a bit daft. So ChatRTX is available as a 36 gig download from NVIDIA's website. It's similar to private GPT, and that allows you to run it locally, ingest documents, and then query your documents. So ChatRTX is to support voice queries as well. NVIDIA has integrated Whisper, an AI speech recognition system that lets you search your data using voice. So that's pretty cool. I say this was a... Let me get off this. So this was a short one. I just wanted to cover things you should be aware of over the last week. And the new UK law for smart devices. That's just pretty cool, and I say not before time. So thank you to everybody who turned up. I will be back next week, same time, so 7:30 p.m. GMT on Wednesday. So thank you all for turning up. The same regular users that we get a lot. Really appreciate it. I'll see you next week.